good morning, everyone, and welcome to Wealth and Wellness Network, the show that empowers women to reach their greatest income potential using wellness practices that promote prosperity. My name is Letitia Johnson, and of course, they call me La. And I have my lovely co-host, Lalania. They call her Lala. Good morning, Lala. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm blessed. I'm excited to be here.
That. Yes.
I'm excited.
Well, I'm super excited because we have some goodies for you today, like we do every week. But just in case you're just listening to us for the first time, my name is Letitia. Again, I'm a certified personal financial coach, and Lala, she is a life coach, certified personal trainer with over 25 years of experience in her field as well. But before we get started, just a few words from something important we got going on for you later this month.
Okay. Give it to me. I want the ball. Pass me the ball.
You got it.
I'm telling you right now, it's like I feel like I'm a kid on a schoolyard sometimes. Give me the ball. I'm ready to play. You know, how would you like to hang out with me and laugh for the day? I don't know. You ready?
Are you?
You can do that. And we would love for you to become a guest on our show. We've got some great lineups coming. And so we want to know how the Wealth and Wellness Network has helped you, right? We've gotten a lot of great feedback, and we want to hear from you. So those selected will be featured on a show this month. So to learn more, go to wealthandwellnessnetwork.com. That's wealthandwellnessnetwork.com. Looking forward to hearing from you.
Absolutely. That is so exciting. This is phenomenal because the show is not just about hearing myself and Lala every single week. And I know we're pretty fun. I think we're pretty awesome. But we really want you to really feel like you're a part. And we want to get to know you and make sure that this is something of benefit. So make sure that you definitely go to the website and see how you can be possibly featured on the show.
Come hang out with us.
That's right. So as we discussed a little bit last episode, we talked a little bit about the law of attraction and how our mindset, the way we think about things, really sets us up for success or, unfortunately, failure. So we're going to kind of continue that conversation, but go a little bit deeper and talk a little bit something we like to call, and you've probably heard of this before, it's called creative visualization. So I was reading an article in the Psychology Today, and I know Lala loves Psychology Today as well.
I do.
They're great. They're great at what they do. And there's an article that talks about the benefits of creative visualization. And in this article, I quote, there's a part in the article that says that the subconscious mind is a programmable hard drive. So let me say that one more time. The subconscious mind is a programmable hard drive. So what do we mean by that? So it means that the quote unquote programs of our lives, which are largely stimulus response behaviors, are downloadable into our subconscious. So let's put that into layman's terms. So the subconscious mind, a lot of times when we think of the brain, we think of the physical matter, but there's a portion of our brain where the things that we experience and the things that we've saw, the things that we've seen, the things that have transpired from our past, from our childhood, they kind of program themselves in our mind. So whether we try to really be involved in whatever action that was or not, is actually something that is really deeply rooted. And over time, it may affect the way you see the world, your actions, your thoughts, that sort of thing. So when it comes to visualization, a lot of times what has to happen is that we have to reprogram our old beliefs and eliminate those negative patterns. Because as we just discussed, the mind is almost like a hard drive. So think of technology. Let's take a computer, for example. There's something, and And if you're if you're somebody who's in the field, please do not, don't kill me if I bomb this. But just from my little bit of experience with technology, there's something, for example, if you use the internet, something called cookies. So what cookies refer to is every time you visit a website, the computer, quote unquote, if you will, remembers what websites you have visited, right? So even if you go into your history and you delete all of your the passwords, or you delete some of the data off of it, so then you can have more room or more space, if you will, the hard drive still technically has access to where you actually visited. Same thing for if you upload, or if you download rather, a program onto your computer hard drive. It's almost like it has long-term memory. So even if you try to delete or get rid of or replace, there is that history that will always leave a quote unquote cookie, or like a crumb, stating that you had access to X, Y, and Z, or you were there. We're familiar with that. So what creative visualization is, like a good example of that, is basically how you use your imagination to help you create whatever you want to happen in your life. And the article goes into a technique. This technique has been around for a very long time, and it has been well researched, and it's been very useful and helpful in a lot of different ways. So here are 3 requirements for creative visualization. And this is how you can implement it so it can be very effective. So number 1, the desire to create what you have decided to visualize. Okay, so desire, remember that word. 2, the belief in what you have chosen to attain through your visualization, and the certainty that you will attain it. So 2, belief, remember that. And 3, this is very important, the acceptance of having whatever you have visualized as your goal. 3, acceptance. So let's review that again. Number 1 is the desire, 2 is the belief, and 3 is the acceptance. Very powerful, and those 3 words are very important, because let's think about it. Have you ever tried to daydream? I used to do that a lot in school, especially in high school. I used to daydream a lot. And there's a unique difference between daydreaming and creative visualization. Okay. So again, you have to have those 3 parts: desire, belief, and acceptance. So it's no good to just think about what it is that you want, but you gotta, 1, have the desire behind it. So obviously the act of thinking. And then 2, believe that whatever it is that you're creating in your mind has the ability to come to pass. And 3, accept that whatever you have visualized can come about. And just really use that law of attraction. Allow it to accept it. Allow it to come into your life. So I know for some people this might sound like a lot of woo woo woo, you know, a lot of it may be new to some people, right? La la, like,
yes,
it sounds a little bit of a fantasy, but I want to put it into perspective for you, because it's one thing to talk about it, and I know Lala and I are building relationships with you guys, with you ladies. So I get that we may use it, but let's put it into perspective and let you know about some people who actually use this to their benefit and are very successful. So have you ever heard of a guy by the name of Jim Carrey? I'm sure you have.
Sounds familiar. It's funny when I think of him.
I like that. Nice pun. No pun intended.
Thank
right?
you. I do what I can.
That was really great. So I'm just gonna. So Jim Carrey actually did an interview a very long time ago, and he accredits his success to visualization. So I'm going to just touch on it a little bit. In the early 1990s, Carey was an unknown actor struggling to get by. To stay motivated, he decided to write himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, dated it for 1994, and carried it in his wallet for daily inspiration. In 1994, Carey learned he would reap exactly $10 million for his role in Dumb and Dumber. Today, Carey is one of the America's most top movie stars, and he credits his consistent visualization to his success. Now, is it just me, or is that very powerful?
I'd say that was pretty powerful.
$10 million, and he kept it in his wallet, and he got exactly what he created. Remember that desire and the belief and the acceptance, and it came about. It's evident that this works. I mean, this is just an example of it. But you gotta have that desire, that belief, and acceptance with it, right, La?
Well, it's funny. I read this quote that I really love by Bob Proctor. I'm sure most of you have heard of him. And he said, most people are extras in their own movie. Wow. Right? Are we the leading role, or are we the extra in our own movie, in our own life story, right? And to just play on exactly what La was saying is that, there's some differences between visioning and visualization, right? Visioning usually refers to the process of your soul revealing your heart's desires. We just talked about that, right? And traditionally, visioning can be also a group process that helps us find the direction in our life. But visualization is more often an individual technique where we picture a desired outcome or goal, right? Your destiny. From a fitness perspective, take a marathoner. A marathoner may visualize the entire course, along with the moment of crashing through the banner at the finish line, right? I mean, this technique really works. You might see yourself as being fit. So you almost and it's an interesting term, so bear with me, everyone, but self-hypnotize yourself into feeling that level of fitness, right? Seeing the fitness. And I use the word fit on my, on this journey for a reason, because isn't that the ultimate goal, right? We use a lot of other things to describe that, but when we're visualizing, where does that go, right? And I love this as an example because let's take fitness mirrors. If you've ever gone to a gym, which I'm sure most of you have, right? Why are the mirrors there? Right? They are not there just for pomp and ceremony, but depending on what gym you go to, you may feel like it. It may even feel like you don't want to go to the gym because there's so much fluff happening, but that's not the reason for the mirrors, right? The reason that they're there is so not only can you see your form, right? Because we want to make sure that we're ensuring that we're doing that exercise properly, but they're also there so you can visualize your results. Actually see those muscles engaging and creating the desired look and the desired level of fitness that you want. And it's a key to creating is that visualization, right? We use mirrors in other ways too in our lives. And I like the idea of a mirror because we are constantly reflecting ourselves, right? Our energy, our vibration. So not only is that mirror in the gym, that mirror that we can look at ourselves, right, and see it. And I'll tell you from my client base, what a huge difference it made when I showed them how to properly use that mirror in the visualization of where they wanted to go. But there's also all the mirrors around our houses, right? And in our lives, how are we using those? Well, I don't know about you, but I put some sticky notes on mine. I got index cards posted on those mirrors, and I use them every day, right? In the bedroom, in the bathroom. they can feature words, phrases, or statements that remind us of that positive self-affirmation. Because again, we don't just want to say, yes, this is, I want this, I want that. We want to see ourselves doing it. Really see ourselves doing it. Because when we're not doing it, it is especially helpful when we want to instill a new positive habit to replace a negative one, to visualize it. And honestly, whether you're in health and wellness or thinking about wealth, you are not only seeing it, but you're foreseeing it. We don't only want you to visualize it, but we want you to experience it, literally feel it. And I'm going to say something that we don't hear a lot of people say, or at least I don't. Don't be afraid to get emotional, right? As women, especially business women. And again, I'm speaking from the experience that I've had with others. But we tend to keep our emotion at bay, right? We want to show that we're in control. I want you to get emotional. I want you to feel what it feels like to achieve those things that you're looking for. I want you to use those visualization techniques to bring it to you. Use those mirrors, those Post-its, and we're going to talk about, other pieces come up here and in the weeks to follow, right? But get emotional. Feel it. And don't forget to give yourself a high five for achieving it.
That's right.
Because right now, La and I are giving you a high five. Great things are coming. And we can't wait to celebrate your success in wealth and wellness. And I know that we've used different techniques, and we've talked about one of them recently. And you use the vision boards, don't you?
Oh,
all the time, right?
I'm actually, listen, I love my vision board. It's amazing. I actually have a picture of it in my cell phone. I'm looking at it right now as we speak.
Me too. I love that. Put it in the forefront.
I'm telling you, it's like no other. It literally has changed my focus, my drive. It has done amazing things for me because, like La said, as business women, as professionals, we sometimes detach our emotions, and we're busy. I get it. And a lot of times what happens when you multitask and you're busy, you tend to forget your reason why, or you tend to put a lot of your goals and aspirations on the back burner because you get so bogged down with life and doing day-to-day tasks, but you don't really necessarily dream and really and let your emotions flow. So, and speaking of vision boards, that's something, if you do not have a vision board, I urge you to create one. And instead of giving you instructions on how to do it, I want you to feel led to just create what you want in your life, whether it's financial freedom, whether it's strength, influence, whatever that may be, and create it along those lines. For example, my vision board, I'm looking at it right now. In the middle of my vision board, I have the word financial freedom, and I had printed out a check with $100,000 on it because I want to be written checks for $100,000 or more. Not just have $100,000. That's not it. I want to be in that category of six-figure checks consistently rolling in. So I have that in the center of my vision board because that's important to me. That's leading me to the financial freedom. Then I also have images of the home that I want, and the interior and the exterior, everything from the walls to the flooring to the pool and what it would look like. I literally have every detail. I also have images of the places in the world that I want to visit and go see. I literally have inspirational quotes from important people or people of influence that connect with some of the goals that I have to keep them in the top of mind. I also have images of people of influence I want to be connected to so I can have more influence. And then and another important piece I want to mention, that I actually have pictures of women that I've never met, of all different backgrounds, all different walks of life, all different ages. And I have above those images, I have the word launch, and then there's 3 words together: engage, envision, empower, because that represents the women that are listening to this podcast. It also represents the women to come. It represents your family, your friends. And I keep that in front of me all day, every day, to remind me where I am going, because I want to use that creative visualization. I have the desire. I want to instill the belief in me, and then I'm starting to accept that it's going to happen. But it's because I keep it in front of me.
Well, and visualizing too, wouldn't you say? Like, I revisit mine all the time because it's constantly growing my vision
all the time.
Reach those pieces, right? But life is always about that continued growth. And so I know I revisit mine. So too, to throw it out there, don't worry about that first, let's say, version 1.0. That's going to continue to grow. So, just go for it. Really.
That's a good point, Lala. It's interesting. I usually change it. I make it a point to add or delete every year, but there's times where I'm looking at my vision board and I realize that I need to really dig deeper in an area and I
refine.
It. Yeah,
refine and define. I love it.
Exactly. Because one thing that we all understand as women is that we gotta keep it moving and shaking, and life happens, and the way we thought last year is definitely different from maybe this year, or our circumstances might cause us to want the dream even bigger, So like Lala said, it's definitely a work in progress. Do not focus on the tangibles, but focus on where do you see yourself? What is the life that you want to create? And let's talk about this in our finances, because a lot of times when we talk about money, people always think about the tangibles, how much money I have in my bank account, or saving, and those things. And those are very important, and I can teach you, and La can also teach you mechanics, but without the mindset, without the desire and the belief and the acceptance, the mechanics don't matter. So let's take this into our finances. So I have a story where my bank account, literally, I actually took a snapshot of the amount of money that was in my bank account. I had $2.58.
Sounds like a good cup of coffee, if you ask me.
It's interesting. I had $2.58, and I was really getting to the point where I was just tired of always struggling. I would get a little bit ahead, and then something would happen, because life happens, and what I saved depleted. So I literally looked at my bank account, and I took a screenshot of that amount of money, and I then took that screenshot, crossed it out, and put the amount of money I wish to have. And I literally envisioned myself seeing all of these extra zeros, not decimal point zeros, but 0,00, comma. And I just kept thinking of that. And I know it may sound a little different, because it's not because it's a different way of thinking, but it has literally changed the way that I view my money. And I don't have to, and I'm not going to say that life won't happen, but I don't have to worry about $2.58 anymore in my account.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been very blessed to not have that challenge, at least not in this state and this point in my life. So it is powerful and it really does work. And I urge you both, I'm sorry, I urge you all to really invest in creating a vision board. And this is something that I think La and I will definitely do, but maybe we'll do a vision board party. How's that sound?
Oh, that'd be awesome. I love that idea.
That would be great.
And I always think how I'm going to utilize my money.
Mm.
So when you said, well, look, it's not about that amount that's in your account, I was thinking, how am I going to utilize it? What do I want to do? I want to be able to be so incredibly generous. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely off the chain. Because when I see those things, and so I put those also on my vision board in regards to the wealth portion. It's what I'm going to do with that tool that is money.
That's right. That's right. And like you mentioned earlier, get in touch with your emotions.
It's okay.
That's what visualization is really about. Because when you sit and you look at the images, or even if you go through a visualization technique, which is something we'll do in the future, but the whole point of it is so you can stir up your emotions within. Because the thing is with the subconscious mind, it cannot differentiate between what's real and what's not.
Right.
That's a scientific fact. So if you're constantly putting in front of you images of where you want to be, not where you are, but where you want to be and go,
where you're going.
Yes. And you're constantly reflecting on what that looks like, and not the how, but what that looks like. Don't worry about the steps, but what it looks like. You know, if you want to have a successful business, envision what that looks like and break it down to a science. How many employees? What would your storefront look like? Literally have a vision of that. And what that does is it stirs up your emotions, and your brain starts to understand what that feels like and starts to work in that direction. It's magnificent how it works.
Powerful.
It really is. So unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today.
Man.
I know, it was getting so good.
That's okay. We got next week.
It was so good. But definitely check us out at wealthandwellnessnetwork.com, because we want to feature you on the show. Yes.
Come and hang out with us.
Come hang out with us. And hey, you can brag to all your girlfriends and everything. You'll be famous. But definitely go to Wealth and Wellness Network and definitely learn how you can be on the show. And we'll meet you next time, same place. We'll meet you next Monday at 8 a.m.
Bye.